There is this piece of cloth that is waiting for us this morning. It has been here in this congregation longer than some of you have been members. It's been carried by hands that shaped this community and hands that held yours in grief, blessed your children, that stood with you at the edges of the hardest moments of your lives, and it's absorbed something. Not metaphorically, but literally. The weight of this is where your ministry lives. In a few minutes, the stole will be placed on my shoulders by the Board of Trustees. And I want to explain a little more, I know I did in the fall, about why it hasn't been placed there before now. When I arrived, some of you, mostly on my worship committee, told me gently and excitedly and kindly, "We want to give you the stole." Right? And I had a very strong reaction and said, "Not yet." Not because I was uncertain about being here, not because I doubted you or myself or this call to ministry, but because I knew that to receive it too soon would be to misunderstand what it is. Because a stole is not a welcome gift. It's not something you hand a minister in the way you hand them the keys to the building. It has a weight and a promise. It is the congregation saying, "We place our ministry in your hands and we trust you to carry it." And trust, real trust, covenantal trust, is not made in a moment. It has to be built slowly, intentionally, deliberately, in the accumulation of weeks of showing up, of learning each other, of discovering together what we're capable of. And I needed you to know, before I could receive it, what was yours. And now, after this time, I believe you know that I'm not taking everything. You have your own things to hold, because a stole is not a crown. Its origins are in servanthood. Some say it was a towel worn by those who served at a table. And when it became a vestment, it carried that servanthood meaning forward. You see, to wear a stole is not to stand over a community. It's to stand with one and for one. But here's really what moves me most about a stole and about this stole, is that this is yours. It's not mine. I did not bring it with me, and I will not take it when I go. It has been here before me, and it will be here after me, because it represents what belongs to this community. The ministry that you have called into being, that you sustain, that you carry forward together. And when you place it on my shoulders this morning, you're not giving me a gift. You're placing something in my care. You're asking that I tend this, to nurture it, to help it grow. And when that time comes, as it always does, when our paths diverge, I will leave it here, whole, for the next person who comes to join you in your journey. This is a sacred trust, and I do not take it lightly. This is why we waited. Now, I want to be honest with you this morning about what we are doing together, because I think you deserve to hear it said plainly. I am here as a transitional minister. Some might call that interim or developmental, but those words sometimes make people, like many of you, nervous, as though interim or developmental means temporary or diminished in some sense. A placeholder or a gap filler, someone who keeps the light on until the real thing arrives, right? And I want to offer you a different understanding. A transitional minister and a transitional ministry is an intentional ministry. It has a specific, focused way of being, and it's in some ways way more demanding than settled ministry because its purpose is not maintenance. It's not the slow, long walk. Its purpose is transformation. And in that transformation, we are committed to 5 areas of work. We are going to examine your heritage some, not to live there. You have a pretty good heritage, but to understand the foundation that's beneath you and how you got here and what brought you here. For those who don't know, you come out of Wilmington, and Wilmington, within days, should be announcing their new minister. And when they come and do their opening history work, some of us will go and attend so that we know, because even though you started something new, you carry that history. It's with you. We will be developing leadership, finding a way to free and empower the gifts that already exist in this room that have not yet been tapped. We will clarify the mission, not what you were, not what you are, but what you are becoming. And we will rebuild and build outward connections to the denomination as a whole, to the Newark community, to the relationships that make the congregation more than a Sunday gathering. We are preparing for your future, building congregational health and clarity, governance and policy, staffing for growth and right relationship, and that will allow you to call your next minister from a place of wholeness and hope for the next phase, not dwelling in the past, but building for what comes next. And the board has made a commitment alongside that work. They've committed in remaining in covenant with the ministry, to hold themselves and this congregation to behavior that's respectful of me, of the office, of Unitarian Universalist values that define who we are at our best. And that covenant runs in every direction. It's mutual, it's serious, and it's part of what makes this morning possible. It's what shared ministry looks like. This morning is the best representation of shared ministry. Shared ministry is not the minister doing the work while the congregation watches. It's not the congregation carrying everything while the minister tends only to spiritual matters in a separate lane. It's this coming together, a community, and it's called leaders bound by covenant, working together toward a shared horizon that neither of us can reach alone. Because ministry lives in the person who shows up every week to make sure that no one sits alone. In the person who drives an hour to be present at a memorial for someone they barely knew. Because presence is what we as Unitarian Universalists do. It's the community that argues over the budget lovingly because they believe in this community. They believe that the community matters enough to fight for it. In the new members, your new members this morning, our new members who stood before you and said, yes, I choose this. I choose you. Because ministry is that accumulated choosing, the showing up and the staying. The ordained minister is something more like a steward of the energy. My job is to hold space for what you already have and are, to name when you can't see it, to stand at the edge of your joy and grief and say, this is holy. You are holy. What happens here matters. I can only do that because you call me to it, because you trust me with it, and because you're willing to place it on my shoulders. Easter has always been, at its heart, a story about what survives. Not triumphantly, not without cost, but stubbornly, quietly, against all expectations. Everything persists. Something that was thought finished turns out only to have been resting. Something new emerges from what was thought had been an ending. I think that's the story that every congregation endures. You have your losses. Your ministers move on. Members who die. Moments of uncertainty where you wondered if the thread of what you were holding would hold the night. And yet here you are. Here we are. On a moment in spring where we welcome new members, and I will receive the stole of your ministry. The stole that waited patiently. And it will outlast this morning. I say again, it will outlast my tenure here. It will carry this day in and out the way it has carried many days before. And I wear it as a reminder that I serve something larger than myself. This community and this community's covenant. This stubborn and insistent and beautiful covenant that you all share together. And when that day comes and I pass it back, that might be tomorrow and it might be in 10 years. We don't know now. We will know then. But I hope to hand it back to you the way you handed it to me this morning. With intention, with gravity, and with hope. Tended and nurtured and whole. May it be so. It's that time, folks. Where are my board members? If you look in your order of service, there are words that are shared with the board and with you to make this ceremony completely shared ministry. So I leave it to you all to get the robe. And I will come down here.
Okay. All right, to reduce any confusion, I'll be reading the board part. You guys read the congregation part. Check? All right.
You all get to do this.
We place the stole upon our minister's shoulders. In doing so, we make a promise. We promise to do the work of this season together.
We enter into this shared ministry, knowing it is ours to tend as well.
We promise to show up honestly, courageously, and with open hands. We promise to hold this ministry with respect. For the office, for the person, and for each other.
I receive your ministry with care. I will nurture it. I will tend it. And when the time comes, I will place it back in your hands, whole and full of possibility.
This is
Our covenant. So may it be. It's the search team.